Well, here I am. I'm sitting on the attic auto I call the Spider. I'm sure that used to be some kind of car. And looking from the Northampton end of Millbank towards the Kettering end of Millbank. You'll see it's all very reflective, a bit like a nightclub. Point out trolley to my left, and these trolleys, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them, and they serve two purposes. One, to keep junk off the floor so that there is a free flow of air around all the junk that we put up here, and the other is so that we can easily move the junk out the way in order to put stuff in this tiny little gap in the eaves, where you can see a dustpan and brush there, but there's also rolls of carpet which I may not have time to show you. We shall see. Now down the centre you see what Lindsay calls trem lines, and it's for future plumbers and electricians to use as a kind of conduit to save ripping up the floor, under which there's 300mm of Rockwool insulation. And talking of insulation, that is fire resistant Celotex. All those reflective bats are fire resistant Celotex, but I've probably shot myself in the foot, because what you see at the apex of the roof is bubble wrap with 2 layers of aluminium foil each side, and that is not fire rated, so there you go. Machine that you see there, oh no, I've thought of something else. I've replaced the old lights with IP65 flameproof and waterproof lights, because the attic really is now much more combustible than it used to be. There's the second one in the distance, we may see more of that in a minute. And the machine that I just mentioned, dehumidifier. This is a very damp house. That dehumidifier, fantastic investment. It's drying the whole house out at the moment just by parking it in the attic. It's specified for 3 to 5 bedroom houses, and it's doing a grand job, but horrifyingly it's taking 7.5 litres of water out the atmosphere every 24 hours. Now I'm moving forward on my Spider, quite a sports car really. Spare a thought for these. I've left them in, they're not connected to anything because they've been superseded, but there are 2 lights. There's the other one, which used to enable me to see what I was doing. Oh, Coleman's English mustard jar. Oddly enough, it contains mothballs, not the newfangled ones that don't deter moths, but old naphthalene, which is illegal to sell in this country, so the naphthalene had to come from Sri Lanka, of all places. And I have no idea what it's doing up here. I've never seen a moth up here, but never mind. Rolls of carpet, as I mentioned, and this dolly here belongs to Nathan. and before it belonged to Nathan, it belonged to BOC, British Oxygen Company, who threw it out because it had 240 casters and they dumped it, and Nathan, being Nathan, mended the casters and reinforced the spine, and is used to use it as an auto dolly. Well, I'm now calling it the Lotus, and we'll see why that has to be in just a moment. I'm going to get off the Spider so we can actually have a look at it, and go to the Lotus. Oh, I didn't expect that. I've accidentally done a it's selfie, or looking at where it is. I suppose it should be called a shelfie, never mind. Right, I'm going to sit on the Lotus now and turn about after first showing you a better view of the shelf and the upper shelf above the lower shelf, and a lovely bit of kitchen work surface that was given to me by, well, Peter P and Sheila and Dave. It's previously of unclear ownership, but it makes for a nice L-shaped workbench where I'm going to put my vinyl cutter plotters. Now, moving to the Lotus so that you can get a view of the Spider. Look, there's the Spider. It is actually a leather footstool that I've just put some big casters on, and it doesn't have to go fast. I can get from one end of the attic to the other in about 3 seconds. Absolutely amazing. Now, something else to show you here, and this is the ventilation system. This vents the box bedroom, the shower room, both just under this insulated floor, and also the apex of the roof, the other side of this aluminized bubble wrap, and then it vents out into an 1861 ridge vent, which is actually the oldest thing on the house, because the house is 1895 or thereabouts. Thomas Peake from Tunstall, Staffordshire, thank you very much for that ridge vent. Cost me £8. And that, I think, is all you need to know. Some of you, particularly Nathan and Owen, will remember how this space used to look, and it wasn't much of a space. There's now not one but two chimney stacks that have been demolished. Bricks are all in the back garden. Lindsay's probably not very happy. And now it's like a bowling alley. Well, a bowling alley full of trolleys. And that should be about enough for today. Bye bye.